What's up, everybody? Welcome back to What They Teach You in High School. Hey, today we are talking about who is in charge of this fine institution we call the United States Congress. We're going to take a look at the House and the Senate. We're going to look at some of their leadership positions. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. And if you need to remember one thing about how these leaders are chosen, just remember that our elected leaders elect leaders. It's like The Matrix, if you've seen that movie. If not, I would definitely consider watching it. Welcome back to What They Teach You in High School. You don't know The Matrix? Inception? Do you know Inception? You guys don't watch TV like we do, even 10 or 15 years ago, do you? Okay, so who's in charge here? We're going to look at the United States House of Representatives first because, well, they have somebody who's second in line to the president, only behind the Vice President of the United States. And by the way, we're going to talk about the role of the position, not the specific person in the position today. So let's get into it. So first things first, the first leadership position we're going to take a look at today is within the House of Representatives, and their position is called Speaker of the House. It's a big one. The Speaker of the House is elected by the majority party. I guess technically somebody from the minority party could reside in the Speaker of the House position, but the majority party would have to be really, really confused if they accidentally put somebody not in their own party in that role. Essentially, the Speaker of the House manages the entire agenda. They control who is the chair of each of the committees that the House of Representatives utilizes to start the policymaking process. If you haven't seen the policymaking process, check out that video here. What's even more thrilling about being the Speaker of the House is after the Vice President, you are next in line to become the President of the United States if for some reason both the President and Vice President were to become incapacitated. You know that you're a big deal because there's a whole hall of portraits of former Speakers of the House. They get a painting of them done professionally. We pay for it. I don't know if we pay for it. We might not pay for it, but somebody pays for it. It's a big deal. Can I have one of you guys in the back look that up and just confirm with me whether we do or don't pay for the Speaker of the House portrait painting, please? As I alluded to, and alluded means as I kind of referenced to without actually saying it, these leadership positions are really established through the party system. Parties are a big deal. Remember, we've talked about parties before. Check out that video here. The political party that has more people in it ultimately gets to be the majority leaders. And then we have the party that has less people. We're going to call that the minority party. They have similar leaders with less power. So let's look at those. So within the House of Representatives, after the Speaker of the House, you have what's called the majority leader and then the majority whip. The majority leader is a lot like the Vice President, but for the Speaker of the House. They're managing a lot of the day-to-day operations, making sure that the people that claim to be in their party are acting like it. That's an important thing. And then they utilize the majority whip to make sure that all of the party members show up and do their jobs. I mean, we got basically mid-level managers here checking on all the plebes within the United States House of Representatives to make sure they're doing their work properly. So why would you need to make sure that people are doing their jobs? If you're a group of one party, you should theoretically have an agenda for what you want to get accomplished. Let's say that the agenda is ordering pizza for your 218 people. Some of the things you're going to want to consider is, are all these people going to show up and give me money? Are all these people hungry? What's going to happen if I get ham and pineapple pizza? Are people going to be willing to pay for something like that? And so the majority whip is going to go around and make sure that every last person is both hungry and prepared to pay for the pizza that's getting ordered by the Speaker of the House. If suddenly 5 or 6 people say, you know what, I'm not eating ham and pineapple pizza, I'm not paying for this, there could be a riot on our hands. And so basically the House Majority Leader and the House Majority Whip are making sure that everyone's there prepared to pay for the pizza that's being ordered, collecting the money to pay for it. Make sense? On the other hand, we have the minority leaders. It is just the minority leader and the minority whip. Their responsibility is similar to the majority here and the majority whip. They're making sure that everyone in their party is ready to eat and pay for the same pizza. However, ultimately, the minority party has really no say in the decision-making process. They're kind of just waiting for the majority party to mess up so that someday they can be the majority party. They can just say, hey, I already know how to be this leader job, so why don't you just give it to me and we can actually make some things happen in this place. Let's get mushrooms and black olive pizza, for instance. And ultimately, if I could really boil it down, the leaders of the House of Representatives are basically just that, pushing poorly chosen pizza flavors on their group of people, making sure everyone pays. It's a heck of a job. Next, we have the United States Senate. They have similar rules, but they also have a few unique positions that we need to address first. For instance, we discussed in a former video, check that one out there, that the vice president's only constitutional responsibility is to break a tie in the United States Senate. In fact, the vice president's job title is actually also the president of the United States Senate. However, if you had an option to go to your office at the White House or option to go to your office in the United States Senate, I bet you prefer to go to the office in the White House. And therefore, we need to have somebody in backup ready to do the job of the vice president when the vice president doesn't show up to work in the Senate. So we break down who's going to be what's called president pro tempore. Pro tempore means for the time being, temporarily, you might say. That person becomes the role that the vice president should hold. They run the United States Senate. Here's your trivia for the day. The president pro tempore is typically determined using which criteria? Is it A, the person representing the state closest to Washington, D.C.? Is it B, the person who has served the longest in the United States Senate? Is it C, the person that is actually the oldest person in the United States Senate? Or is it D, the person that is the closest relationship to the vice president? Hey, if you said B, the person who is longest serving in the United States Senate, you're correct. Once we've determined who served the longest in the United States Senate, they get to be the president for the time being, pro tempore. However, oftentimes this job does get disseminated to anyone who's willing to do it because no one's super excited to stand up there and hammer the gavel and say, everybody get in line. This is what we're talking about today. So, especially if you're old, then you don't want to be doing that very often. Old people are funny, but great. In addition to the vice president's role and the president pro tempore of the Senate, we also have our majority leader, majority whip, minority leader, and minority whip. See the first 3 minutes of this video to understand what those jobs do, because they're almost identical in the United States Senate as they are in the United States House of Representatives. And folks, there you have it. Our leadership hierarchy broken down. We've got our Speaker of the House, we've got our majority leader and our majority whip, we've got our minority leader and our minority whip. Within the Senate, we've got our vice president, our president pro tempore, majority leader and majority whip, minority leader and minority whip. It's a big, grand old time. As for today, that's what I've got for you guys. Make sure you tune in next time to what they teach you in high school. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that little bell button so you know I'm coming next time. Make sure you're sending these to your friends, to your family, and most importantly, tell your high school social studies teacher about me. I bet they'll love me. Or not. But nonetheless, they should know that I exist. Thanks again for watching What They Teach in High School, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.